Hello, Boris Pervisham here. It's been a little while, hasn't it? I'll explain why, and also talk about why I might be sounding a little different at the moment. I've also got a few other things to mention, but I am against time. In 15 minutes is supposed to be a recording session that I'm meant to be at, and I just realised, just before I started this, I haven't edited the weekly Minecraft video, so that one's going to be late. But first things first, this is what I'm doing to the base. That wasn't there before, and I'll go up and visit that. This area, I'm having trouble with decorating the interiors. That's not something I used to have a problem with, but now it is. This is through here. You've seen this before. To get my practice up, I think I'm going to take over Zek's ship that's over there, because Zek isn't around much anymore. He's done that strange thing of getting a life. So I'm thinking of appropriating his ship and doing the interior, which was the original point anyway. He said he'd build the exterior and get me to do the interior, so I might practice in there and see how I fare. But what I have been doing is up there so far. The last episode that I recorded was when I was building this segment here that was running up. Ow. That's going now. It's definitely not staying. This in there is a pipe, so that scaffolding that you saw down below, that the tubes runs up there and runs all the way up. I thought it was a decent looking way of doing it, and then I've got that across there. The pipe runs into the building, and it will continue down there once I've got stuff to build down there towards it. I've continued the almost gothic styling that I started down there by accident. This one was meant to be a little bit bigger. I am not happy with the top up here. I couldn't get the mod blocks or any of the blocks to come together into a point with a larger spire. See, down there it's smaller, but I wanted to build a larger one so you could see it from a distance more easily. You see, it looks quite nice from... I wasn't intending to do this. This is why my videos always run over time, but I just wanted to see what it looked like from Anubis's. And of course, Anubis has his thing locked, but we'll go from Spider-Man, Spider Bay. Right, where are we looking? Down there. I just wanted to see what it looked like from a distance. And we're on the other side. Okay, well, actually, you can see that there. Kind of. It's not from the side that I wanted. That over there is where I wanted. That asteroid over in the center of the screen over there. But let's go back. We'll just stop mucking around. We're against time here. Come on. And I wanted it to be... Am I going to lag? Can I move? I can. The frame rate is horrendous. But, I mean, if you're watching this, it's likely that you've played Space Engineers at least once or twice and you've had the same problem, so you're probably used to running around at 20 frames. But I wanted it to be a bit bigger. Maybe I'll build a bigger one still in the same sort of theme. I carved out that section there, and I kept a bit of a hill over there. That, I don't know what's going to go inside. I'm guessing that's going to be some sort of central command kind of a thing. The interior is not something I'm really focusing on at the moment, as you kind of saw on the inside. It's quite bare, because I wanted this to be... Because it's a big evil lair kind of thing, and I wanted it to be quite grand, as you walk in, and the very high ceiling. But the problem with that is I don't know what to fill it with. I've got a lot of space, and nothing really fits. The sounds in this are ridiculous. I mean, who thought this was a good idea? Just walk into something and it... Anyway, so that's pretty much done. I just realised I don't have a plan for today. I had a few things I wanted to talk about, and then I just jumped in. Right, let's grab some steel plates, and we'll work out what we're going to do with them when we get there. Anubis is probably shaking his head right now. Up we go. The reason why there was a bit of a break, and I talked about this in very slightly in one of the Journey to 100 videos that I did a few days ago, back on Monday. I think we should start filling this in a little bit. I'm going to keep this as the roof along here. That's right. Anubis and I see that asteroid out there, that smaller one. Anubis enclosed his base, which you can go see on his channel. Cross promotion there, but his series on this server is easily the best. So if you want to see more of this, then that's where you go, without a doubt. But he enclosed his base and had some problems finding oxygen, because this is an old world. So we came in creative and created an oxygen-rich asteroid up there, which is why I've got the voxel hands. And loading. There we go. And I think I'll just cover this up. So if I ever get around to making this a pressurized area, then we know where we're going to go, up to that asteroid up there. Yes, I have been away because I've been in the process of moving house, which happened quite suddenly. I wasn't expecting it to happen that way, but it did. The reasons for it, I moved in with my sister, so the reasons for that are personal, but I'm here now. I quite like it here. It's alright. It's closer to town, or it's in town really. So there might be some traffic noises from time to time, but I did have the problem of it being quite an old house. So in my bedroom, which is where I could have set up all my computer equipment, there's only one PowerPoint, and I really don't trust it. Because the PowerPoints would have probably been done in the 60s, I'm guessing. But the house itself is probably, it's one of the earliest ones in this area, and the town's not exactly old. I think it's about 140 or something like that since its founding, but that's about as old as you get in Australia anyway. But there's like an extension off the side that you should probably weld it with this thing, I suppose. That looks like it was built wrong side, a fair bit earlier. I should check if there's stuff inside first. And it all looks a lot better. Some, not many. I could probably... Oh, that was entirely the wrong way around, wasn't it? We just chuck it in here. We can go grab some more soon. Yeah, and... So I set up down here. There's plenty of PowerPoints because I've got a very large setup, and the only problem is that this room is like a second kind of a family room that was added on, and it's got an open door. I can't close the door, so I've kind of, and because it's a rental as well, can't do anything more. I don't really know how to close it off at the moment. It's just a very dodgy looking, we covered it with duvets just to try and stop some of the sound going both ways, because this little YouTube hobby of mine is a private thing in my real life. I don't mind anyone really knowing it, but I prefer family gatherings at Christmas and whatnot to not include questions about why I said a particular thing in a particular video and why I spend all my time playing video games. So I prefer it to not be known, and sitting in front of your computer like this talking is a bit of an odd thing to do and does tend to raise questions. So I am recording at night. I'm actually recording quite early. Sister has work early tomorrow, so I got a bit more time to to muck around, which is why I've got a recording session with Anubis in about five minutes, but Anubis is used to me being late. I'm sorry, Anubis. At least this time I have a better excuse than playing Disco Dodgeball. Yeah, so you'll notice I'm talking a bit quieter as well. I don't want to wake her up or anything like that, so hopefully the audio on this comes out all right. I'm going to try and get a better setup, so I apologise for this. None of it was planned, but it all happened so quickly that I couldn't really tell anyone what was happening. I just quickly put up a YouTube video and informed Anubis so he could tell people. Right, I finished that project. What next? I'm surprised that was enough. The plates. Are there any plates left? Yeah, I'll take them. Let's see what's next. And over there. Yeah, so my schedule is going to be a bit less predictable, I think is the best way to describe it. Well, that yet. And as a result, I probably won't be able... before I moved, I was starting to get some... something silly, 13 videos a week, something like that, which is ridiculous considering I'm not trying. I don't... And I'll probably talk about this at quite some length sometime in the near future, but I'm really not trying for quantity over quality at all. At the moment I'm delivering neither, but that's beside the point. So the fact that I have not, apart from the tutorials at the start, which is kind of why I want to remove them, but I have never forced anything. I've never done a recording for the sake of having content. I've always recorded because I felt like it, because it's enjoying. I found it entertaining to do. So the fact that I was doing so much and not feeling like a single bit of it was forced is a testament to the amount of fun I've been having. But I'm not going to be able to keep that up anymore. So it's going to be a bit difficult, even more difficult than it was to try and have something regular. I'm sure I'll work it all out. At the moment, I think I'm still on track for having a video a week for the next 2 or 3 weeks. So not a video, I mean probably about 5-6 a week for the next 2 or 3 weeks. So it's definitely not the end of the world. I'm just going to try and sort out a better audio situation so that I don't have to be, I can start saying very inappropriate things at the top of my lungs like I used to. But I have, and just to move on to a little bit of general talk about the Nidd, I have realized recently that I have not exactly been doing what I said I would, and that's partly due because of my love-hate relationship with sandbox games at the moment. They used to be the only thing I played, and I absolutely loved them. I played as much as I could of everything. If I couldn't play it, I watched it. I don't know why, something appealed to me about the fact that you could, without any objectives, you could spend your time doing the silliest things or the most serious. You just made up your own game. It didn't matter what anybody else thought of it. You just enjoyed yourself, and I quite liked that. But recently, and I don't know why, I don't have, and this is purely being burnt out, I don't have any motivation to pick up Minecraft again beyond just joining in with what other people are doing, doing roleplay stuff, basically not building. I don't really feel like I could, if my heart's not in it, then it's very obvious when I'm making a video, and like I said, I definitely don't want to be making anything for the sake of content, so it's a bit hard to justify trying to start anything there, trying to force anything. I mean, it might come to me again, but yeah, and I've had a similar thing in Space Engineers. It was mostly because of the performance and I guess slight direction change of the game. I'm not sure if it was an actual direction change, but it kind of felt like it. My perception of the way the game was going changed, and I felt a little less motivated to play it. I've not really done any actual engineering of late, which is quite obvious by the fact that there hasn't been a video on any of that sort of thing. The stuff that I've been enjoying is making, this, which serves no purpose. It's not exactly the greatest aesthetic thing I've ever built, but I quite enjoyed making it. And it's not exactly what the devs had in mind. The last few update videos I've kind of watched out of a sense of duty more than interest. I've not... Yeah. And it makes me feel rather guilty because, like, for example, the Land of Nidd, that had a lot of promise, and a lot of it was kind of snuffed out by the performance of the game. It kind of just ruined everything, and then when you realise that all of your plans can't really work even if you wanted to, it's a little demoralising, which is, partly my fault. I got to a point where, because the game was rather stable at one point at towards the end of 2014, and I thought, well, this is it. They'll add the last few things. I was expecting, programming to be added, and then maybe we'd move to beta, and they'd focus on performance. There's nothing in there, is there? And they'd focus on performance and getting the game to actually work, so we could do the sorts of things that we all have in our mind. The sorts of things where we all sit around and think, wouldn't it be great if we could do this? But all the what ifs. So I thought they were going to do that, but then the ironically titled bug fixing updates, and I'm sure they tried to fix bugs, but you try and fix one and it opens up another dozen. That killed the Land of Nidd. And it unfortunately came right at a time where it was just starting to really pick up. We were getting a nice number of people every day. I was playing on there fairly regularly, often not at times when other people were on, but time zones being what they are and all. Let's fly back and see if it's still... Oh, we haven't finished that bit yet. I'm thinking we're going to have to put windows in here, so I might leave them open. I'll just mod up this bit. What was I saying? Ah, yes. So it was a bit demoralizing to suddenly be excited that a lot of things were actually quite possible for a little while there, and then I this project that I had on the back burner for quite some time. I think we're going to need to put another one in there. And then it all opened up at the right time with, it has been... Oh, the roof's too low. I think that's going to be alright, though. We'll make that black like the roof. And we'll rotate that around. We'll put them in here. And then we'll put the window all the way up. And I think that'll look alright. Sort of that curve away. We might have like a curve in all the way around, a slant in, depends if it fits, but we'll get to that when the windows are in. Yeah, but I don't, and I've kind of noticed that Niddsville is going a little bit the same way, and it's not the game's fault. It's like I was not intending to have any like real part in Niddsville, the Minecraft server, for those of you that don't know that. But it just so happened to turn out that way, and it was looking exciting once again. All these great ideas. I'm going to have to go weld some stuff and get rid of this. All these great ideas, and both that I had and plenty of other... I mean, Killer Apple's got the zombie map that he's just made. He put a lot of work into it, and he's obviously a far bit more dedicated than I am, and it's almost ready to come out. I won't talk any more than that because I've already kind of said too much in one of the previous videos. Yeah, and I don't want that to just die off as well, mostly due to the fact that I've not put in the effort and followed through on the things that I've said, and I feel rather guilty about that. And it is mostly because of this lull that I've had with Space Engineers and sandbox gaming in general. And I say that, but I really enjoyed the Forest. That's mostly because if you put friends together on anything, any game, then like what's happening in San Andreas multiplayer at the moment, there's nothing on that map. It's just a few cars. There's really nothing to do, but you put a few friends together on the map, and it turns into some of the most fun gaming that I'm probably ever going to have. And the same is true of the Forest. That's why I like sandbox games. It provides a blank slate. But yeah, these ones I've been struggling with lately. As for the Land of Nidd, we've been talking about that the past couple of, like, Anubis, Mira and I, we have a weekly little meeting sort of thing every Sunday. I know a couple of people have accidentally dropped in on them. They're not exactly exciting. We get sidetracked a lot, and I mostly play Disco Dodgeball through them. Slacking off in my own meetings. But we've sort of raised the Land of Nidd in the last 3, and we've not really gotten anywhere with it, I don't think. I'll have to check, but I wonder. I don't know what its future is, and I would like to try and stoke some interest in it again. Same with Minecraft, but we don't really have the player base, so I don't want to be spreading people too thin. There's a TTT server up now. If you go to the nidd.com, it'll have all the details there. The game servers at the top, and all the details are in there. Dracol's running that. I hope Mir told him. I know he was sort of asking about it, and he's the one that plays on there the most, and so he can do adminning and whatnot. But I think Mir was the one that was supposed to tell him that he was now in charge of that. Maybe it was me. Well, if you're watching this, Dracol, and Mir hasn't told you, then yes, you're in charge of that. This is excellent. Excellent. I'm really good at this. But speaking on that, and this is yet another tangent, and I've got to wrap up now. Anubis is waiting. Actually, he's not online. Anubis is late. I'm going to remind him of this for months. Yes, I'm going to go for a little fly up to Anubis's base and show you all what's happening there, because he's just given his channel a big facelift and put a lot of effort into everything, and he's making a lot of videos on this server, and on the website as well you can see how to apply for this server. We're looking for another YouTuber to come here. Yes, I do want to, like, while my schedule's not as predictable anymore, and I don't know if I'll be making the same amount of videos, I do want to be putting in the effort to make sure that the Nidd stays strong, because we're a small group, and despite the fact that we are small, it's very active for what it is. That's connected to a connector, isn't it? Bouncing up and down. Oh, it's not connected. Right. I feel like I should stop it doing that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, though, because it's got a... Oh, wow. What is that? Is this how little ships are made? Can you stop doing this? It's not appropriate, and I'm not allowed in. Right, I have a feeling that's going to explode, because it's going to keep bumping up and down until it... See, it's already got a big impact there. I don't know if that's from the connector. but it's just going to keep gaining momentum until it finally bursts. I'm not going to find anything in here that I have access to. I think we've mucked around with Anubis' stuff too much, and he's gotten too paranoid, and now nothing is open. I'll tell Anubis about it when he comes online, hopefully shortly, because he's being so tardy and not turning up on time. What was I talking about? Yes, because I won't necessarily be having the same sort of schedule as I once did. I want to put more effort into the group side of things. I'm going to be doing some more sort of general admin tasks, trying to make sure that projects are up and running, and most importantly, delegating. And by delegating, I don't mean just giving people the jobs that I don't want to do. Like, for example, General Hatchet's working on a project at the moment, which will be his project. I'm not going to have any part in that, neither is the other, I guess you could say, core members, the ones that are the most active and do the most sort of stuff, like Anubis and Mia and Killer Apple Spider-Man. They're now joining in more, Drakor, Mike, McCarthy, and so on and so forth. There's quite a few more. Yeah, but so Hatchet will be starting his own little thing with his own group, and I'm not by himself. It's not as if anyone else isn't invited. I'm not going to tell you what the project is in case it doesn't work out. I've already been, I've been taught my lesson about revealing things before they're supposed to be revealed. But Hatchet's doing that. Drakor, like I said, he's taking over the TTT thing, if he accepts that. And he seems to have his group, like his group within a group, the Sharks. So hopefully, they, for example, and this is all just hypothetical, but they would have their own little projects within the group for the group. But yeah, and so forth. Killer Apple's started his map project, and this way, things don't rely on one person, that being me. Who isn't particularly reliable and doesn't have the most predictable schedule, as well as, a job and a life and whatnot. So by spreading the load, it means that we can do less work but have more stuff to do, and we can spend a lot more time together. And that is kind of the point of this group, is that it enables, people to do the things that they've always kind of wanted to do but never had the people to do, never been able to do on their own. That's I think the fastest the easiest definition, most accurate definition of what the Nidd is. So and that doesn't just apply to gaming either, but predominantly, because that's what we all do. So hopefully I can delegate a few more things. I know we've got a couple of like the road trip is up on the Nidd YouTube channel. I'll put a link to that right at the top of the description, because that's well worth a watch. It's very funny. I wasn't in the last one while I was moving, and I think that was the best one yet. I don't know if that says something, but it was and that channel, I think, will turn out really well. Hatchet's project is for that. The Nidd Weekly, that's kind of stalled a little bit, but it was looking really good for about a week, and then it's difficult to coordinate a group of people for a project like that. So it might appear sometime soon. I don't know. Again, that's not something like that would not be happening at all. If it were just up to me. So the fact that it could happen at all is down to the fact that someone else is willing to take the project on. But so, I don't know, like Christoph Keen, he doesn't have much time anymore. He's got other far more important family things, like a baby human. But coming, it doesn't have it yet, but, how long do they take to grow? I'm sure it's not long. But he had a really good idea. We just had another idea of another thing that we could possibly be doing. All things to, get people active and involved, and everyone pitching in, doing a little bit. So hopefully that way we can, have projects that don't just sort of fall over and die, and so that my promises actually work out. Because I don't want to keep doing that. I haven't had anyone mention or complain or anything like that, but I'm sure a few people have thought about it, and I just wanted to let people know that wasn't the intention. But anyway, I am far over time. Why haven't you appeared yet, Anubis, and stopped me? It's all your fault. But anyway, that thing's probably going to explode. I feel like just sitting here and waiting for it. But I won't. So thank you for watching. There's things in the description. Look at me promoting stuff. Go down there. I'll wait. Have you done it yet? There's a couple of links. Come on. Why are you still here? Nothing's going to happen. It's just going to be this. Actually, I should stop. I've noticed people get... I lost quite a few subscribers the last time I did an hour-long video. For reasons less important than this. So I'm going to stop here for my own good. But just to let you know, if you're still listening to this, that I have significantly lost respect for you. You know who you are. I know who you are. Anubis. Please just go.